Hi.
Welcome to Southern California Prep Insider Basketball Podcast. Tommy and Devin here. We have a normal podcast for you. Devin's top 10s, the top plays. We have reporters at Centennial, Camarillo, and Capo Valley. And then we have some game picks for you. Devin, how was your week last week?
Not bad. Saturday didn't really do much. The rain is just something that keeps me off the freeways in Southern California, but saw Santa Margarita on Friday, and before that, Mater Dei on Tuesday. Solid week, no complaints.
Spoken like a true Southern Californian that's afraid of the rain. As I promised you last week, I did put a scoreboard up. You were winning, so I'm going to try and crack into that lead when we get to the game picks. But first things first, Devin, who's in the top 10?
So this week's top 10, despite Rancho Christian losing, we still have Sierra Canyon 1. Rancho Christian lost to Santa Margarita on Saturday, but I kept Rancho Christian at number 2. Corona Centennial at number 3. Mater Dei at number 4. Bishop Montgomery at number 5. And then we have Santa Margarita at number 6. The win against Rancho Christian bumped them into the top 10. They also beat Orange Lutheran on Friday. Number 7 is Etiwanda. Number 8, Damien. Number 9, we still have Rancho Verde. And number 10, Orange Lutheran.
Yeah, and then did you get a chance to see, it was kind of cool, you did see Rancho Christian on national TV.
Yeah, I what do you call that? Recorded it.
There you go.
On my recorder thing on my TV.
Yes.
Watched it late Friday when I got home from the Santa Margarita Orange Lutheran game, and they had they flew back that next morning and had to drive all the way to Temecula from LAX and play a really good Santa Margarita team at 6 o'clock. So, as my good buddy Ronnie Flores likes to say, that's a trap game. And Santa Margarita played well, so give them all the props, and that's why Santa Margarita is number 6. I know some one person dropped Rancho Christian pretty far in their rankings. But overall body of work, they beat Memphis East with James Wiseman. Great win, and they played a tough schedule. So I kept Rancho Christian right at number 2.
Yeah, they're like the only team that had to deal with a plane trip, so you got to give them a little bit of break there.
Right.
Top performers from last week, I'm going to start with Adden Wright from Fairmont Prep, 32 points and 23 points in 2 games last week. Next, we'll with Gavin Kroll from Patriot. He's averaging just shy of 29 points per game in his last 3. And then a final one, Andre Henry. This is more of like a season-wide thing. I know he had a good week last week, too, from St. Francis. Has had double-digit rebounds in every single game so far this season, except for 2, where he only had 9, Devin. So
Yeah, Henry's a really good all-around player, plays for a great coach in Todd Wolfson. And Gavin Kroll is a nice catch for you out in the Riverside area at Patriot, a smaller school. He's a nice public school player. My players of the week are as follows. Jake Kyman, Santa Margarita. He scored 31 points and had 10 rebounds in a win over Orange Lutheran, and then had 28 points and 10 rebounds in that big win over Rancho Christian the next day. Trevor Cieseman from Troy. He had a career-high 34 points in a win over league rival Sunny Hills. And Jaron Johnson from Linwood in a loss at the Harvey Katani Classic to Damien. Scored 45 points. Got to give him props for that. Big fan of Johnson's game. He's a junior, and he's going to be real good next year.
Yeah, scoring 45 against the team that you have as number 8 in the section is pretty damn
Right.
good. I don't care if you're going to lose that game. We're going to go to some of our reporters now. First, we're going to go to Jessica, who is at Centennial.
What's up, guys? I am here with Coach Josh Giles here at Corona Centennial. Now, this guy has been here for these past 16 years as the head coach. He is right next to Coach Matt Logan, who's been here for over 20 years. These Centennial coaches, they are tenured in. You guys are going to be here for a while. Now, how great is it to be at such a winning program like Corona Centennial and to be able to lead this program?
I feel like I'm very fortunate. When I first took over here, I was really young. I was probably too young to be a head coach, and the athletic director and the principal at the time, I feel like they kind of took a chance hiring me because at the time I was pretty young, and I feel like I've kind of grown a little bit. I mean, people like Matt Logan and Randy Campbell, other coaches here that have had a lot of success, they've helped me out along the way and things like that. So I feel very fortunate. We have a lot of great athletes, which as a coach, if you have great players and great athletes, it makes you look maybe smarter than you really are. So I feel fortunate.
How much has this team grown since you came in 2004?
I think the program's grown a ton. When we first started off, I inherited a really, really good team my first year, and we kind of had to change some stuff after that and kind of mold the program into what my vision and my philosophy for basketball is. And it took some time. It took a couple of years, and luckily administration was patient with me and stuff like that. So it took us a couple of years to kind of get it going, and then my 4th year here at Centennial, which was my first senior group, players that that come in as freshmen and stuff like that, we were able to win a CIF championship, which was really cool. And then we've had some great players, great people come through here since then, which has helped kind of build it. And, every year we're trying to make a push to be better than we were before. So that's been kind of like the motto is getting better and getting better. So you want to leave the program better than how you found it.
Right. I love that. Now, of course, you guys begin the season with the Battle Zone tournament, which has some of the best talent, not just in California, but really in the nation, with people like Rancho Christian, Chino Hills, yourselves, of course. So how much does that really prepare you guys for the rest of the season ahead?
I think all 3 of the tournaments that we played in, the non-league games that we schedule, I feel like we try to challenge ourselves on a nightly basis. When we're out there playing, we want to try to play the best every single time. And I think as you go on into playoffs, that ends up helping you more than hurting you. If you lose a game early on in the year and you lose it to a really good team, but you learn something about it, I think that's more beneficial than maybe beating a team that you were clearly better than. I'm not interested in padding my win total as a coach. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in, when I retire, how many wins did I have? I'm interested in every single year, were we the very best we could have been? And to me, that happens with, challenging yourself early on. So if that means, when I'm an old man and stuff like that, if I have less wins because of it, then so be it. But every year, we're trying to be the very best version of ourselves that we could be. And to me, that happens by challenging yourself. I don't see the point really in scheduling a game that you're going to win by 30 to 40 points. Usually I'm more, and you could talk to the players, I'm usually more frustrated and upset with them after like a 30, 40 point win than I am on a game that we dropped by like 2 or 3 points and we played incredible and played hard. And I'm usually more upset with those games than I am, a tough, hard-fought game where maybe we lost. Because I feel like you can get better and learn a lot about yourselves when you're being challenged. So I think that's the main reason behind it.
Right. Now you guys, of course, are currently sitting at 15-3. Jalen mentioned how, first off, you guys had the co-league MVPs last year. But he mentioned how this year you could even go a 3-way if that's at all possible with Paris. Now, how strong are some of these guys looking this year?
Well, we had everybody coming back from our team last year, and I feel like everybody has gotten a lot better over the summer, over the spring. During the off season, we really try to challenge these guys with conditioning, and we try to get into the weight room as much as possible. And I feel like they've been committed to it. They're just so much more mature than they were last year. So certain little things in games that maybe last year we would have crumbled under, we kind of just respond. And these guys have all played. We start 4 juniors, but of those 4 juniors that we start, most of them have been playing varsity basketball since they were freshmen.
Right.
So these guys have 70, plus varsity games under their belt as juniors. And so with that, there's really not a lot of stuff out there on the court that they haven't seen. So I feel like with that experience, they're able to respond. Whereas last year, they weren't. So I feel like they are definitely growing and developing and getting better from top to bottom.
Of course, you have guys like Jalen, DJ, and Paris who are leaders of this team as juniors, but are there any other guys that are really stepping into that leadership position to help you out, really?
I think I'm sitting in one of the guys' lockers right now. Alan McBride has been great for us. He's been a 3-year varsity player. Dennis Cash is another starter for us as a junior. And then we have a bunch of guys like Cortland Moffitt. We have Mason Machado and Aaron Parker. We have all these other guys that are really, they do all the stuff that you may not see in a box score. They don't show up in stats, especially Cortland with that, where they make the hustle plays. They do the dirty work stuff, which, sometimes it's not glorified. They don't write articles about it. They're not doing interviews about, the guy that dives on the floor and, takes charges and gets rebounds and things like that. But you don't win games without those kind of guys. And I think all those guys have really stepped up. And Alan is, as a senior, has been a really good leader for us. He works hard every day. He's like a 4.2 student. He's a great example for teammates for what he does in the classroom. So I think we've had a number of guys kind of step up, and those guys especially. Then we do have a good mix of some sophomores with Jason Wiltz, Donovan Watkins, and Jeremy Lynn that are on varsity right now. They're just kind of waiting their turn. I think they're going to be great basketball players here, but they got some older guys in front of them right now, so they kind of got to be patient and wait their turn. And when they have opportunities, take advantage of them.
Of course, we are finally now getting into league play, so what can we expect from you guys as we finish up league play and then eventually head off into playoffs?
Well, we talk about it, like I said, every day. So the idea is that we get better with each and every game. So each game, we only have five other teams in league, so you only get 10 games. So you can't afford, when league's only 10 games, you can't afford really to drop a league game. If you do, it kind of puts you behind the 8 ball, and now you got to maybe hope for somebody else to win a game and things like that. So we try to take it as 10 individual championship games, and just pushing ourselves to get better every day. And so far, we've done a pretty decent job with that. We have 2 more non-league games, so we have 12 games left on the season, 10 games left on the season, 8 more league games, and the 2 non-league games. So if we can finish off these last 10 games, paying attention to detail, getting better every day, then we do have a chance of maybe playing in the open division, which is something that we talk about every year. Since they've come up with that, we feel that the CIF puts the best of the best in the open division, and if you're coming to Centennial, we would like to think that is your goal, is to be one of the best. So if you want to be the best, you have to play against and beat the best. So that's hopefully in our future as we get to play in the open division and hopefully have an opportunity to compete for an open division title.
Yeah, it's a little odd that the Big 8 is no longer Big 8 schools.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
But of course, I'm looking forward to watching you guys as you finish up league. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
Devin, what do you think of the Huskies?
Well, they're at number 3 in the latest top 10, and they've been there for a couple of weeks here. Only losses are Rancho Christian and Sierra Canyon, so those are 2 very good teams. They have a great guard trio with Paris Dawson, DJ Davis, and Jalen Clark. They're going to be a tough beat in the open division.
Yeah, I mean, a good team. They had a good football season, having a good basketball season now. It's always, there's certain programs that just for whatever reason always seem to be good in every sport. Next, we're going to go to Connor, who's at Camarillo.
Hi, man. Good night. 34 points for you. Just another day at the office. What was the key to this win?
The key to this win was, basically shutting down Drake. That was our main focus coming in. We know he's a hell of a player. We know what he can do. So our main focus was to stop him and help off. Do what we had to do to stop him, and then come in, hit our shots. That was basically our mindset going in.
3 dunks in the first quarter for you. You finished the game with 6 slams. You guys got off to a really hot start.
Yeah.
How are you able to do that?
Just pushing the ball, getting down in transition is our main focus. We're a team that likes to push the ball, so when we do that, we get dunks, and that's what happens.
How great was the crowd tonight?
Oh, the crowd was great. The fan support was awesome. That's what we love. All the guys, we love seeing the community come out and, support, so that's awesome.
You're headed to UCLA. Drake's headed to USC. It was a little taste of the rivalry that's going to happen down the line in a few years. What's it like to compete against a guy like that who's at your same level? Yeah,
we've been playing against each other since like 4th grade, so him going to USC, me going to USC or UCLA is awesome. So I'm really happy for him, and it's just always great to play against him.
Hi, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thoughts on the Scorpions?
Well, they have a really good player. If you haven't heard of him, Triple J, Jaime Jaquez Jr., going to UCLA, and he's averaging nearly 32 points a game, and he's a 40-point threat anytime. Had a 50-point game this season, so he's good.
Yeah, and we have the highlights. If you go to our Twitter and kind of scroll down a little bit from this game this weekend, a ton of dunks.
Ton
of dunks.
Likes to dunk. He can dunk.
Yeah, and that was against Moore Park. Drake London, another great player.
Who can dunk too.
Yeah, who can dunk a lot. And those guys are going to be going back and forth to get to college because one's going to UCLA, one's going to USC. We'll see how much football Drake plays, how much basketball he plays. Kind of up in the air. I don't know. We'll see what happens when he gets there. Last but not least, Beverly's at Capo Valley.
I'm here with Coach Brian Mulligan, head coach of Capistrano Valley Boys Basketball. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
This is your 24th season as head coach of the Capo Valley Cougars. How does it feel, and what's so special about this place?
Well, it's my 34th year at the school, so I've been here a long time. Obviously, I like this place. This campus has always been one of those places where the people have stayed top-notch. I got this job coming out of college, and I'm really happy to still be here.
How would you describe your coaching style and philosophy?
I'm a little fiery. Most people will probably tell you that. They probably think I talk to the referees too much. I'm more defensive-oriented than I am offensive-oriented. Most people will tell you that, too, because I'll probably tell you my offense isn't any good. But generally, I am an inspired coach. Nobody will ever accuse me of being aloof and not into the game.
Your assistant coach, Nate, says you treat the players like your own kids, and I definitely saw that today in practice. What do you want these players to take away with them after they leave Capo Valley?
Well, honestly, and I know everybody says this, but honestly, I want them to be like good young men when they leave. And so many of them come back and visit and hang out and show up, when they're back from school, even after back from school, after they have jobs. I'm proud of that because the biggest goal here is to sort of learn from the sports perspective. Having to band together and do a bunch of things together is a unique thing in life. And these guys, I only get them for so long to help mold and shape them a little bit. I hope that they mostly think it's good, but sometimes I'm not very nice to them.
So can you tell me about your free throw record?
Oh, that came up somehow, huh? A long time ago when I was in high school, I went to San Clemente High School, which is right down the road, and they're in my league. My daughter graduated from San Clemente High School. My son goes to San Clemente High School. I shot a few free throws and made a few, and my name's still up on the wall down there.
And how many free throws is that?
I don't know. I don't know how many free throws I shot. It wasn't as many as maybe I would have liked it to be, but I think I shot 91% my senior year.
Wow.
Nobody does that anymore, Beverly. Nobody does that.
So you've been the record holder for how many years?
Let me do the math for you. 39 years.
Wow, 39 years.
I don't see any young Tritons breaking that record soon. I'm going to put that out there for all the Tritons of the world.
Called out. All right. The team has been competing in some pretty competitive tournaments this season, including most recently the Rancho Mirage Invitational. How do you think that's prepared them for league?
It's been the oddest preseason I've ever been through because we added 3 kids who transferred in and they just became eligible. So trying to balance what we already had with what we were about to get has been interesting and different. I think their cohesiveness has only gotten better through time, although the last couple days of practice I've been a little concerned because we do start league, this next week. I think just the general bonding of having to play a bunch of real live games has been good for us, but I'm sure that's pretty good for a lot of teams. But we've come through it quite well.
What have you liked about the ways your guys played so far?
I think they play super hard. They share the ball. They care about the little things, even though their little high school minds sometimes don't let them stay focused. They really do care. And it's generally just 14 kids who try to do things right most of the time. It's a good thing.
Thanks so much, Coach, and we wish you the best.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate it.
Capo Valley, what do you think, Kevin?
Well, they had a couple guys transfer in who were waiting for that sit-out period in Langston Redfield. And the kid from San Clemente, Spencer Egbert, both very good players. Redfield a sophomore, Egbert a junior, and I believe they won 4 out of their last 5 games since those kids have become eligible. So Capo Valley is going to be tough in their league.
I'm asking a question about this. I mean, how much? I know it's basically numbers based, but when you get to the playoffs and a lot of these kids are sitting out, how does that affect the teams? You think when they have these kids who are sitting out throughout the season?
Doesn't. I mean, especially now because the season was moved up 1 week, so now they get eligible December 23rd. They have the post-Christmas tournaments to get ready for league, so that gives them an extra 4 or 5 games under their belt to get the chemistry right. And then in league, most leagues play 10 games, so that's plenty of time to develop chemistry with the teammates. And a lot of these kids have played club basketball, whether against each other or together, so they already know each other's games pretty well.
All right, so we'll go to our game picks now. You're winning, so congratulations. I got to make a couple games here. The first one we're going to talk about, we talked about Etiwanda a little bit and Damien a little bit. They're going to be playing each other. This game is happening Wednesday. It is going to be Etiwanda at Damien.
I got Etiwanda in this one. Jared Hyder perhaps lost for the season with a broken foot for Damien. He was their leading scorer. Tough break for the Spartans.
I'm going to agree with you, too. I'm going to go with Etiwanda. Etiwanda, this school, man, it's the same thing. They're ranked right now, according to Max Post, number 11 in the nation. I think I did not see that coming to start the season, but they have really, really gelled. I'm going to go with that next. We have Long Beach Poly traveling to Compton.
I'm going to go Long Beach Poly here. I love what Coach Shelton Diggs is doing. They have 3 senior guards, Jordan Williams, Malik Salahuddin, and Justin Renee, who are all any guys who can score double figures in any game.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off you again, which is not a good way to make up points. But I got to keep getting them going.
Right, you got to hope for an upset or something.
Yeah. Next, we got Los Altos at Diamond Ranch.
The Jared Lucas scoring tour continues, this time at Diamond Ranch. I'm going with Los Altos.
Dang it. All right, I'm going to have to go with them, too. They've already played. The last time they played, Los Altos won them, beat them pretty well. It was 81-64 in the last game, so got to stick with them. I'm going to go with Los Altos here. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, you're picking the right teams because you're following what I'm doing. So
I know. I need to get off. I got to go on a limb on one of these.
I think maybe the next 2 are the ones where we might vary. We'll see.
Here we go. We got Canyon traveling to Villa Park. Villa Park coming to this game at 19-1.
Yeah, this is one of the better OC rivalries. The fans are going to be in there. It's going to be packed. A lot of people are going to go Villa Park here, but I'm going to go Canyon. They push the tempo. They get extra possessions, and AJ Perry's. I have a feeling he's going to fill it up.
I'll take him. Just I got to make up some points. I'll go with Villa Park here. Julian Franklin's leading them in pretty much every single category. He's got 22 points per game, basically 9 rebounds a game. He is a machine. I normally don't like picking just because of one kid, but I got to make up points somewhere.
Sorry, Julian. I picked against you.
Well, yeah, no, Julian, wear that chip on your shoulder now and just go off against Canyon. The final game is another rivalry here. We have Corona Del Mar and Newport Harbor.
Yeah, this is literally one of the best, Orange County rivalries you'll find. This is the tough pick. I'm going to go Newport Harbor's 21-1. CDM's got 15 or 16 wins. But records don't matter in this one for sure. But I'm going to go with Newport Harbor. I like the way they execute the offense. Sam Barella and Dane Chalmers, both very good players. And then Robbie Spooner is kind of the X factor. The 3-point shooter spreads the floor. I mean, if he gets in that 5 to 6 3-point range, I don't see any way CDM can overcome that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with them too. I don't want to do that, but again, I got to make up some points somehow. You mentioned the records. Newport Harbor with a very impressive 21-1 record coming into this. Corona Del Mar 15-6. The fact they played 20, it's supposed to play this many games already. It's kind of shocking. Yeah. I'm going to go with them. I just have to make up the points, so I'm going to go with CDM. Devin, anything else you want to add?
No, it's raining. Please stay off the freeway so I don't have to deal with your terrible driving.
All right, yeah. Again, it's the apocalypse in Southern California. There's a little bit of sprinkling going on outside, so stay inside. It's like people are more scared now than the characters of Bird Box trying to stay inside and keep themselves sheltered. So stay indoors. It's just very dangerous outside. It is slightly raining. We'll see you guys next week with more of the same game picks, top 10, and reporters everywhere. We'll see you.